as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be the boss of me. I don't like being controlled, and that includes being told what to think about. But there are a few exceptions, and one of them is that I will always take the thought leadership of Brené Brown. In 2019, she did a podcast about a self-bullshit detecting tool called the Enneagram, which breaks people into head types, heart types, and body types. Side note, that episode has since been removed, so if you go Googling it, you won't find it. Anyway, I took an analysis on the internet that resulted in the title of The Challenger, and since then, I've been studying myself and how I became me. There appears to have been a series of instances where I got angry as a baby when people didn't respond to my cues of wanting to be held, and I decided I was going to hold my own damn self. The Challenger sometimes gets a bad rap, so I'd like to provide a little bit of insight. The Challenger falls into the body type, and body types want respect, to control the environment, autonomy, and independence. These things ring true to me now and in the past. Let me share a couple for instance. As it comes to respect, in the fall of 1990, I started at a brand new school, and I was dragging my foot behind me, kind of like the hunchback on Notre Dame, and some kids were making fun of me. And instead of laying low and waiting for things to die down, I gave a formal presentation about hip dysplasia and the consequences of egregious errors during medical procedures. I ensured that I was going to razzle-dazzle these 10-year-olds by putting on my glasses that were half the size of my face and combing my curly faux mullet, brushing my teeth with Aquafresh and applying that Teen Spirit deodorant and spritzing on just the right amount of Malibu musk. For that presentation, I ensured that I had an outfit that was both fashionable and functional, and I chose a neon green windbreaker with matching neon green pants, which allowed for me to pull down those pants mid-speech and show off my gnarly scars. It was a real memory maker, not just for me. I had someone ask me at my 20th high school reunion if I remembered doing this. Yes, this sticks out to me, but it's only one of many stories that I can carry as a person with a disability who needs to shut nonsense down on a regular basis in order to have my identity affirmed. An example of a time I needed to control the environment most clearly shows up in the time where my husband and I were in labor and delivery sessions of our prenatal education series, and I declared I could have a baby in a parking lot as long as I had my husband and my mother-in-law with me. Let me tell you how that played out. My husband asked if I was ready to go in, and I was told by many women that they had thought they were having a baby and that they went to the hospital or were sent home again, and I decided that I was not going to go through that. And so 3 hours later, when I started to feel some sensations of intense discomfort followed by waves of being internally on fire, I finally decided that yes, maybe I should waddle from our third floor walk-up apartment to our newly leased Ford Focus on the street. And my mother-in-law was there, and she kept telling me to save my energy because I kept saying things like, I really feel like I need to push. And she told my husband not to worry, that when the baby was ready to come, I would not be able to talk. And he remained worry-free because I kept passenger seat driving and giving directions. Halfway to the hospital, I calmly stated, guys, I think I'm having a baby, followed by, guys, I feel like I'm sitting on her head, and then, oh my God, there's a baby in my pants. When it comes to autonomy and independence, I work in the field of early childhood education and care, and there is literally a podcast dedicated to illuminating the social issues that plague the field called No One is Coming to Save Us. Everything about being a leader in this field requires you to be able to self-govern and be independent. We in America have set the mostly women leaders who sign up to run organizations that inform the 95% of neural networks that are formed by the time a child is 5 to work in isolation and to need to figure out the complexity of HR and DEI practices and legal requirements and organizational cultural design and financial stability on top of understanding holistic child development and how to measure progress and to support staff to use this data to inform meaningful relationships with families to be excellent in a vacuum. So, as Brené Brown says, you either walk inside your story and own it, or you stand outside of your story and hustle for your worthiness. And I would challenge all of us to own our own stories and keep living great stories and be our own damn heroes.